This is the AI News Flash for May 1 a.m. UTC. First up, Apple delivered a near-perfect Q2 fiscal 2026, posting $111.2 billion in revenue, up 17% year-over-year, alongside the announced CEO transition from Tim Cook to John Ternus. Research and development spending hit an all-time record at $11.4 billion, up 34% from $8.6 billion a year earlier. Total operating expenses jumped to $18.9 billion, with first-half R&D reaching $22.3 billion. Cook said R&D is accelerating much higher than the company overall, signaling deep AI investment. On the analyst call, Cook declined to discuss the agentic AI product roadmap, instead pointing to 22% iPhone growth and the strongest cycle in Apple history. Services revenue hit an all-time high of $31 billion, up 16%, anchored by Apple's 2.5 billion active device installed base. CapEx tells a different story. Property and equipment payments fell to $4.3 billion for the first half, down from $6 billion. Apple's AI investment shows up in R&D and product development, not large near-term infrastructure buildouts. That contrasts sharply with hyperscaler CapEx topping $725 billion annually. The Ternus era will define how Apple's AI foundation translates into a visible agentic AI strategy. Next, South Korea's April exports continued surging on record-breaking AI-related demand. The Wall Street Journal reports total exports for the first 20 days of April rose 49.4% year-over-year, with semiconductor sales jumping 182.5%. Korea Customs Service data for the first 10 days showed $25.2 billion in total exports, up 36.7%. Semiconductor exports alone surged 152% to $8.6 billion, the highest ever recorded for that early month period. Chips accounted for 34% of total exports for the third consecutive month above 30%. AI demand is the primary driver. HBM memory and DRAM prices are surging, fueling record results at Samsung Electronics and SK Hynix as Blackwell Ultra and Vera Rubin demand explodes. Korea's memory dominance is now structurally tied to NVIDIA's AI semiconductor ecosystem. Q1 real GDP growth beat forecasts, driven by the semiconductor export boom. AI infrastructure investment is no longer just a U.S. story. The pattern propagates through the Japan, Korea, Taiwan, U.S. Asian supply chain. Schneider Electric and Murata earnings echo the same theme. AI economic geopolitics now has a clear new axis. Third story, Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg told employees that AI costs were a primary driver of the 8,000-person layoff. Forbes reports, citing a Wall Street Journal account of his internal remarks. Zuckerberg called compute and infrastructure, plus people-oriented things, the two main cost drivers, openly acknowledging Meta's escalating AI investment burden. He said the company needs to take down headcount somewhat, and that AI tools now let teams once needing 50 to 100 people deliver with just 10. Larger teams have become counterproductive. The remarks follow Meta's sharp upward revision to AI CapEx guidance, now $125 to $145 billion. Markets reacted hard, with Meta losing $175 billion in market cap. The internal remarks are management's first detailed cost structure explanation. Zuckerberg framed reductions as redeployment, freeing capacity for new projects. He also flagged a trajectory change in Meta's ad business after late February U.S. strikes on Iran sent oil prices surging. Higher gas spending squeezes consumer discretionary, the engine of Meta's ad inventory, with hyperscaler AI CapEx topping $725 billion annually. The AI efficiency layoff narrative is now hardening across the entire industry. Last story, Spotify launched the Verified by Spotify badge on April 30th, a direct response to the flood of AI-generated music on the platform. TechCrunch and Engadget report the light green checkmark appears on artist profiles to signal authenticity and trust. Verifications requires real artist presence both on and off platform. Concert dates, merchandise, linked social accounts on the artist profile, plus consistent listener activity and engagement over time. Profiles that primarily represent AI-generated music or AI persona artists are explicitly excluded from verification at launch. At launch, more than 99% of artists actively searched by listeners are already verified. Rollout will continue across the vast platform on an ongoing basis. The badge builds on prior transparency features including Song DNA, expanded song credits, about the song, and AI credits. Context is sobering. Deezer reports 60,000 AI-generated tracks uploaded daily. Sony Music and Warner Music are pursuing copyright settlements and lawsuits against AI music platforms. The verification race for streaming authenticity is now fully on, marking a turning point for how the creator economy coexists with generative AI at global scale. That's all for this AI news flash.